What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on my truck, and here we got the JD Fabrication Inner Fender kit. This kit is going to be way stronger than the factory one because a lot of you guys have got the battery and it's causing big problems with cracking fenders. Way more clearance, it's going to give you way more structural integrity and strength. My truck is getting older, the fenders and the weight of the battery is just cracked like all the insides. My fuse box doesn't stay in the same place. Like, you can shine a light underneath and there are so many cracks. So we're gonna show you the step-by-step process, start to finish. This kit also comes with a battery tray. I'm not gonna be using it. However, for people that wanna relocate the battery, JD also make this storage container, which runs in the back of the bed in the storage compartments. You got two either side. They do a driver's side and a passenger side. So my battery is gonna be going in here, and battery tray delete.
So to start things off, we're going to be working on the driver's side fender, which is a little more involved. We've got the fuse box to remove. There's a few more things that need to be taken out so we can cut these fenders out and have everything where it needs to be. I'm also going to put a little barrier on top of the fender so we don't end up cutting through anything that we don't need to. And we're also going to start removing some of the wires and some of the odds and ends that are attached to the inner fender currently. We've got the clutch reservoir that I'm going to remove because this is also a standard Tacoma. So we're going to get that out of the way, and then we're going to start marking where we're going to be making the cut. With making the initial cut, we don't want to cut like too far back. It's always easier to start and then remove a little more if we need to, because this fender is going to be going in and out just for fitment a few times. So I'm just using a grinder for this job. You can use a reciprocating saw, or like, you know, there's multiple options here that you can use. I start with the grinder because it's quick and dirty, and then I move on to the reciprocating saw just on the tight spots where I'm worried about maybe snagging a wire or, you know, cutting something that we don't want to cut. So it's almost out, just the final little piece here that we need to remove, and then we're going to give it a wiggle, and yeah, happy days. So with this setup, you don't have to do this. My front clip, like core support area, was also cracking, so I ended up buying a new piece, so it's all just fresh on the front end. I wanted it fresh because the cracks were just driving me crazy, and if we've got nice clean fenders, we're going to want a nice front clip to add to that. Yeah, let's get on to bolting the inner fenders together. This kit comes with a whole bunch of hardware. It's pretty self-explanatory how it all goes together. It kind of just fits together like a jigsaw puzzle. And to get things rolling, you want to bolt that all together so it resembles its final form. We are going to move on to welding the seams here, which is step 2 of this process. But once you've got them all together, then you can start welding. So with this part, I didn't want to weld just one continuous line. I didn't want anything to warp or, you know, go out of shape here. So I just kind of stitched all the main parts together, and then I moved on to the other side and did the same until it resembled one solid piece just bolted together. I mean, I'm not the best welder, but we're getting it done. There's also these little end pieces, like this little piece in particular is where your front fender's going to mount. So you just want to make sure that that's on there nice and tight. And also comes with extra bits for the 2nd and 3rd gen Tacoma. Some of them are slightly smaller, some of them are a little higher. I've got the 2nd gen, so where my fender mounts at the back there on that little piece, that's going to be a little higher. And it also has locating holes to put those pieces, those extra pieces for your fender. So as I mentioned before, the fender's going to end up coming in and out here. You just want to make sure that everything lines up and everything is nice and tight and sturdy. I ended up trimming a few extra pieces just so it was nice and snug to the current firewall. This is something that I think in each case is going to be different depending on your truck and its, you know, current state. But you just want to make sure that you measure a few more times than you might think and just get it in the right place before you start drilling the holes to actually seal the deal. Love this tool, the little belt sander. Thinking getting all the nuts and crannies and make things so you're not cutting your fingers up. So now we're going on to actually mounting the fender. I got the fender roughly in its position and I clamped it all together, made sure I measured an extra time, and then we started drilling the holes. There's 2 holes at the back of the fender near the firewall, and then there's also the front core support bolts, and there's 4 bolts that you need to drill, or 4 holes that you need to drill on the front core support, and you can just bang the hardware in there. There's also an extra piece for your fuse box to mount to, so it's nice and sturdy in there. It's not wiggling around as it used to. Once the inners are mounted, you can pull them off and give them a lick of paint, take the hardware out. I gave it an extra layer of paint and I didn't want to remove them for a final time. So I ended up just covering the hardware. I mean, that's personal preference, I think. It would for sure look a little tidier if you pulled it off, took the hardware out and then painted it, but in this case I just wanted to keep layering the paint up, so once it was already on the truck I just kept letting it dry and dousing it with some more paint. It's incredible how sturdy this thing is now compared to how it was before. I'm blown away with the quality and nice cuts. It's all cut out on a laser table or a plasma table, and everything just kind of works where it needs to work. One thing to mention is I did have to modify my coolant reservoir because the fender now sits higher than it used to, but besides that everything should just fall back into place. You might have to drill a hole here and there for a ground, or you know, just little odds and ends, but yeah.
That's a wrap on the JD Inner Fender install. Super happy with the final product, and full disclaimer, this is my personal project, and Braden, Overland Outfitters, has been kind enough to lend me the space, so I wanted to take full advantage. I would highly recommend tackling this kit if you're a home mechanic, garage, backyard scene. It's totally achievable, and yeah, I think you'll be super happy. So if you want this kit, buy it from Overland Outfitters or JD Fabrication. That's a wrap. That's it. That's all. Toad, you're always barking. See you in the next one.